Okay, so I decided that I should probably do a video while I'm driving here on maybe some tips on how to do some long distance traveling. So this can be van life tips, or this can just be traveling tips. Okay. Because this is stuff I didn't know before, and fear becomes a factor, and what you don't know, you can be afraid of. And also what you don't know, it can be such a hindrance when you don't know it, and then once you do know it, it just becomes like, oh my gosh, it's a no-brainer. So this, like I said, this is me from what I'm doing. I didn't set out to be van lifing. I'm van lifing right now. I'm traveling, transitioning in life, figuring out what I want to do, and I don't want rent or a mortgage right now. And I want to figure out where I want to live, and because I'm doing that, I'm free in this van to cover a lot of space and free to make my choices as I go. And when you do that, where I stay, I have all my amenities in here. But this is helpful for even if you're just car traveling or in a pickup truck or whatever from A to B. You're moving your kid for college or whatever. Rest areas are your friend. Now, prior to this traveling that I've been doing in the last year, COVID had never happened, and hotels were like super, sorry this rattles, COVID wasn't a factor, and so hotels were just like plan A. If you were gonna go somewhere that took longer than that and you wanted to drive in a day, I would stay in a hotel. And that is a solid chunk of money, and there are factors in there. There's an ick factor for me, not just like, I mean, it's not just COVID, it's an ick factor for me now, like, especially now that I'm super spoiled with controlling my own environment, my own cleanliness. I can clean this, I clean this daily, more than daily. But because of that, because of COVID, maybe people don't want to stay at a hotel anymore when they're doing some traveling. And that is a super duper, super valid factor. I love rest areas. I love rest areas. And I'm noticing, which I didn't know before, that anybody can pull up, pick a spot, put it down, and go to bed. And prior to my traveling, even during the first parts of it, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was scared about some things. He'd get rattled a lot. Look, he's making a bed right now. He'd get rattled. He'd be on guard. So I got a couple things figured out, and I think they're super helpful too. Target or whoever has these, I got mine at Target. There he goes. Night night, Benji. Night night. $10 for these. They're windshield thingies. They fold up. They fold back in here. Put up $10. Reflective on one side, black on the other. I got enough to put on all the windows. You figure out how to put them up, whether it's a car or a truck or a van. You put them up. If you want some pretty curtains, you can. If you're like van lifing it, you want to make it pretty. But say you're just traveling through with you and your kid, and you cannot drive any longer, and you do not know where the next hotel is. You don't want to spend the money. You know, money to me now is everything. Before, I have spent some money on some hotels, which worth every penny at the time. But let's just say you're driving through and you just need to put it down for a while, and you've never considered it before. Don't be freaked out by a rest area. They are fantastic, and anybody who's there, staying there at night, they're there for the same reason. They are crashing out. They can't drive any longer anyway. There are not lights up on these highways at night. A lot of times, a lot of places. There is. I have some rules. I don't drive at night. I don't drive after the sun sets. I try to be in a place before the sun sets. And then I park. Here's another tip. Park away, far away from everything as possible. It's all relative. So if I can get myself on the side of a curb, next to the grassy area, away from the truck, in a wind pattern where the wind isn't going to bring the truck exhaust. They're running their diesel all night. doing what they have to do to sustain their comfort, which is totally valid. So, because they've got to be taking care of themselves too. So you can't get cranky at truckers for, you know, keeping things going, which makes a lot of noise. So I try to park myself in a place that's kind of away and put up our blackouts first thing, which signals to Benji too that it's time to clock out as a guard dog. Don't get me wrong, he's always dialed in if he needs to be for safety. He keeps us protected, but he knows that he can go ahead and take a load off and chill out for the night. But also I wanted to share, while we're talking about this, rest areas are my favorite because people are really there for one reason, and it's to rest, relax, clean up. During COVID, they had them closed, a lot of them closed up the rest area facility, the restroom part, which is silly to me because that does not stop the spread of COVID by bottlenecking us all into more travelers, into less resources. In fact, it just makes it worse. They did it in campgrounds too. They closed up restrooms. And so all the tourists that they're allowing in or that are coming through, like on the highway here, are now using the teeny tiny limited resources that you're offering. It's the silliest thing. You've got way more exposure. So that was a big part too of me creating my own resources here. Sorry, it's really loud. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Anyway, I wanted to say too one more thing. Love's truck stops along the way are totally travel friendly. They're not ideal, but boy, I have stayed in some Love's parking lots. They're a little more noisy, but you do have all your amenities right there if you need them. Okay, it's getting too loud with the rain, guys, but I just wanted to share that. Rest stops, rest areas are your friend. Oh, the app. There's an app that says literally rest area. Use that. It uses your GPS and it can show you where your next rest area is. Okay, guys, gotta go. Love you.